Welcome to a special broadcast on this Friday, April 26th. We are joined by singer-songwriter, videographer Jill of all trades, and most of all, my very good friend Madison Hughes to talk about her new EP, Goodbye to Neverland. As you all have seen through social media, not through me simply, but because Madison is obviously talented in her own right, I just am a good friend and I elevate her as best as I can. But she has the talent and she has gone viral for a lot of her covers. She also does a lot of original music. And with this EP, Goodbye to Neverland, it actually has a lot more of her original songs. A lot of her fans have demanded original songs, and we're really thrilled to have Madison talk about the EP ahead of her very busy schedule promoting it. So, Madison, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. What a great intro.
Tell everyone watching, because it's going to be distributed to YouTube. I anticipate Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're going to post this all over the interwebs and even LinkedIn. What was the inspiration behind the EP? And talk about the track list. How many songs you've posted are originals, and then how many are covers?
Yes, so it'll be a 6-song EP. This group of songs was, in the beginning stages when I moved to Nashville. I had a co-writer named Rich Deans, and we co-wrote 5 of them. And then the 6th song is a Bruce Springsteen cover, which that was the one that went viral. So we decided to put that on. But out of my journey in Nashville, there's been so many different songwriters I've met and just other collaborators, and it's been hard to figure out, okay, when you're first, what do you put out for your first, original country EP? Do you just choose, one chapter of your life and choose that group of songs versus trying to pick all these different genres of songs I've had and all these different writers? So this is the first iteration, and a lot of the times I can get stuck and be like, what's the right strategy? But I'm just starting somewhere, and so this is definitely like a more country than I've done previously. So you guys will be able to check them out, yes, on all the streaming platforms. And I've created a music video for Dancing in the Dark, but stay tuned on the other original videos.
And where did you happen to film the Dancing in the Dark video? You want to share with
Yes,
everyone where we did it?
Gabby and I, we had recently had a film trip to Seattle, Washington. Gabby figured out Cary Park was a great viewing point of seeing the whole downtown Seattle. It was the most epic view. We saw Mount Rainier in the background. We had some people watching. It was fun, and she helped me set the
Not really.
camera.
You pushed the buttons. I was just there to monitor.
Yes. Yes. But it's been a cool evolution of me and you, our, journeys, and you promoting me, and it's very cool. So I'm very happy. I got to give you a sneak peek of the songs on our road trip
Yes,
recently
I
too.
got the exclusive lowdown on the songs,
Yep.
but outside of that, I mean, when we film our film trips, I don't think it takes away you doing occasional, when we have some downtime, some stuff for your music on the side. Actually, sometimes our client likes to have you incorporate your singing into our work as part of B-roll, so I don't think they'll be mad about it. I think they'll be really excited. And we had already, done all of our filming by that time because we had filmed the conclusion for our report at Cary Park, and you were like, this is a great location. I need to shoot this music video for my cover of Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen. I was like, have at it. And people really liked it. It's a beautiful spot, of course, as people can see, and they saw on your Instagram too. So I thought it was very lovely with that. But more about your track list. Can you divulge, or rather, could you explain each of the songs briefly and which
Mm-hmm.
tends to stick out for you the most as the most meaningful song? I liked all the songs. I think they
Mm-hmm.
are interwoven with country. Some are more bluesy, some are more,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a reversion back to like old country, some modern
Yeah.
country. I felt like tinges of Casey Musgraves in one of the songs and all that. So you have like a very eclectic kind of country adjacent sound, and it's not narrowed down to, this new country or
Mm-hmm.
this pop country. You have a lot of R&B elements, you have a lot of like Americana, alternative. And so talk about the
Yeah,
songs
that's
more.
exactly. Yeah, the first one is "If My Heart Was a Train." You and I, we tried to film a music video in Washington,
It was
on the
Oregon
railroad
actually.
on the railroad tracks. Yeah, Oregon. I need to redo it. But it's kind of like if my heart was a truck, like the Lainey Wilson song. But if my heart was a train, I would roar down that track like a hurricane. The second song is, what is it? Ring the Doctor, which is my favorite song to play live. It's I was inspired by Aretha Franklin's song Doctor Love, actually. And I also, at the time, my co-writer, I was like, I want to write a J.J. Cale type of song. He's like a bluesy artist. And so it kind of has a Bonnie Raitt vibe to it. Like you said, one of the more bluesy songs, kind of Rolling Stones rockin'. So it's a metaphorical song, call me up. I'm the doctor. I can, be your lover. The track 3 is Goodbye to Neverland, which is the more Casey Musgraves ethereal song. It is about growing up, leaving your childhood and your childhood home, and just all the things. Growing up, at some point you have to grow up, and just realizing that. But I don't want to say goodbye to Neverland. And in the theme of the song, it's like the narrator, me, I'm talking to my best friend, fictional in this story, but I think girls can relate to it. Like, you have another friend, maybe she's already getting married and having kids, and you're the only one who understands that I have a dream I'm chasing. Like, I can't necessarily settle down yet. And yeah, so that's the kind of synopsis of that. And then there's Nowhere Fast, which is kind of my story about being in Nashville, the feeling of kind of being discouraged. A lot of us can relate to it. You move here, you think you're, hot stuff. I was on The Voice, and then you realize everyone else has also been on American Idol and The Voice. And it's just like, in the song, we just give different examples of what going nowhere fast means. But it's kind of more a silly, fun song, and the production elements in the song definitely help convey that. It's more of like, it feels like a circus kind of, vibe, but more southern rock kind of elements there. And then track 5 is Too Far to Reach, which is actually my personal original favorite on this piece of work. It's also a fictional song about having a lover who lives in London and you live in Tennessee, and I'm on the road, and you can't have a relationship 2,000 miles away. It's actually not 3,000 miles away. And yep, so I guess there's just those 2 love songs. The rest are not. So very different from Heartbreak Kid and You Were the Whiskey, who are about the same guy, had different themes in this one. And then, yes, Dancing in the Dark, which went viral because of my acoustic version, and where I was able to convey the kind of dark meaning of the song. It's about someone that wants to kind of end their life, I think. And like, I get up in the evening, I got nothing to say. I come home in the morning, I go to bed feeling the same way. And just kind of being done with life. And hey, baby, I could use some help, Can't start a fire without a spark. I need someone to help revive me again. So it's kind of like life in the mundaneness. This song kind of relates to that. So that's my quick rundown.
You have a talent for taking songs. I didn't even think, maybe I don't listen to Bruce Springsteen as attentively as others do, because I think I prefer more so like Billy Joel style. If I'm comparing the two, I feel like they're from the same era. And it's not as melancholy. I mean, he sings about melancholy, of course, like anything, but I think you take songs that may have darker meanings and add some light to it. Or like how you kind of riffed off Morgan Wallen's I Deserve a Drink. Right. Like, you made that your own song, where when Billboard covered your recent single, they actually mistook it for like your original song, which was funny until they made the correction. And so you have a gift of taking these kind of songs that are popular, or in the case of the Morgan Wallen song, maybe not as popular, and adding some new life to it, which is why you were able to go viral in both instances. And it's not about virality, I know for you. It's an added bonus, of course, but you want people to see kind of the depth and the breadth of your voice. And you have such a very interesting tone of range. Like, you can sing low, high, all this type of stuff. And it's like a unique sound, unlike a lot of stuff you see in Nashville on Broadway today. And while I'm not a music critic by any means, I am an avid listener of music. I used to play classical piano growing up. I was in a children's choir for a very short time too, so retired children's chorus singer, and I can understand music and all that. I have a decent ear for good music, I would say. But it's like you hear the same voice on country radio, whether it's the guy's side or the female side too. It's like this twangy kind of pop country, and it doesn't really stand out. And what we were talking about on a road trip, I was like, the reason why I like Kenny Chesney and Dierks Bentley and some of these others, or and even Eric Church too. I like his music. I don't necessarily agree with his politics sometimes, but I do like his music. I went to his concert once many years ago, and I found his concert to be really uplifting. Like it was very, very cool to be there. It was like a total out of body experience, and it was good soulful music. Like I said, even if I don't agree with everything Eric Church says or does, I'm appreciative of his music. Same with like Casey Musgraves. Like she has a very distinctive sound. That's why I like her music, independent of her politics or some of her musings, because it's just unique and different, and it touches different elements of country and soul and this lifestyle and projecting your feelings or communicating your feelings rather. But it's like I just get so annoyed, and this. I think most consumers of music do like the same sound, which is why like I'm such a fan of your music, independent of our friendship, because I think you have a different tone and voice, and it's so captivating, and you've been able to break out even without having a record label to your name. Like you've been able to do so much, have great success in several instances so far in your professional career, trying to do this full time, having some viral moments, getting noticed from Billboard at least twice in some other publications, and having your songs even played even for a few seconds on Fox News with the help of Katie Pavlich on the 5 whenever she goes to appear there. So you've had success, and people recognize your talent. Even with the success you've been attaining on this kind of independent edge, how frustrating is it to do this? And do you feel deterred at times? Like you were expressing to me that you feel like, I don't know if I should continue in Nashville. I said, no, you should try and see. But does it leave you feeling sometimes this musical journey that your hard work is not paying off, or people are not noticing it, or you have to kind of overcome the gatekeepers? Like, is that still a problem for you?
Yeah, I remember talking to you about this over dinner. And the main, like, I guess it's just a reality of if you're independent alone, like, if no one's on your team and no one's going to be, promoting you unless they're your fans. So right now, it's the only option I have is, like, social media and just trying to go directly to the fans and, forget the people who are in power, I guess, in the music cities. It'd be fine to, like, figure out a business deal where I could figure out how to be more like I don't know, not mainstream is the right word, but
packaged
more
for like
or just
radio,
more like accepted for just like not staying, I don't know, in my own bubble, because people will promote people that are on their team who are signed to each other. So I guess learning the reality of that, someone on
more collaboration.
I don't know. Yeah, just figuring out what is the right strategy to get to the next level. Like how do you get to Chris Stapleton level? I don't know. Is it selling your soul? Because I don't want to have to do that. Or like what exactly is the process? I would like to know. Like, is it just you gotta have such and such thousands of dollars to be Megan Maroney's level? Like, how does she reach that level where she can play shows and stuff and not have to be like, sorry, we don't take unsolicited people. Don't contact me. Like, I don't know. It'd be nice to, the next project I release, not have it be just independently where it might not get as many views as if you had a company helping you. Because other companies that are not in the music industry, they don't just do everything alone. They have distributors and people that help them get their product out on the shelves of the grocery store. So I get that that's the process. So that's kind of my next step. Like, how do I not be so DIY, but also not so polished on the other end where you're just disconnected? Because then I don't want to lose that edge I have of the DIY spirit. Because I'll never stop, posting my own music videos and stuff. Like,
but it's just relinquishing it a little bit so you can rise and get some more commercial notice. Not like saying you would become commercial or compromised. It just means you, and I told you this, like this is for any PR or any type of business thing. And so you can elevate to the next level when you take certain steps. In music, of course, it's a lot of obstacles and you have to go through those certain hoops and jumps to attain some sort of like commercial radio success because they're so gate kept where they won't take you out of left field. So you'll have to go with like some producer, some distributor, and then hire some PR person who has all the connections. So I'm confident you'll be able to make the next step and assess, who's going to be a good fit for you. You will have to spend a little money, unfortunately, as this music industry dictates. But I think you'll figure it out, especially before future projects, which I won't let you dish on quite yet. But you do have some potential projects in the works, which people can learn about if they follow you, and you'll dish on more later. But let's go back to the album briefly. So the themes that you laid out here, of course, what do you hope listeners of this EP will gain from listening to the music? What kind of feelings would you like it to conjure and give to people, like feeling of hopefulness, the resilience, singing about reality? What do you hope to give to people with the EP?
Yeah, I hope that it comes across as like honest and not, so fake and polished, because this took so many different tries of me doing the vocals here and there, and so there's a lot of soul behind each song, all the toil we've had to try to get the songs right and finished. We recorded like last summer and just now are finally wrapped up. And so a lot of the songs have like, I would say 3 of the songs are more of a soothing tone, which people really like, and then I also have 2 upbeat songs on there, which I needed to give people some more upbeat recently. So it kind of has that tough girl energy in a couple of them too. So it's cool you get both sides of Madison in there, because I like both of those. Having the soothing, calming, ethereal, but also the, go get 'em, girl.
I was telling you during our trip that if Ring the Doctor is not made into like a social media trend, because how many doctors who are on, I don't know, TikTok, Instagram, all these outlets, if they don't like mouth off or like lip sync to Ring the Doctor,
that'd be perfect.
It would be, I think it would like that song could be kind of the
medical
underdog
summit
that could like break out. Like for social media potential, and you could see people lip syncing to it. Like, where these social media TikTok doctors, if they're watching or listening to this, I hope they listen to our plea. But they compare it so much, with being in the office with clients, not doing anything crazy, but mouthing off to it and like in a short fragment. Like maybe you should definitely start a social media trend with it, or like a call to action on that. I'm not a doctor, so I can't like play along it, but I could help you elevate it, of course. And I know there are probably like friends of mine or acquaintances of mine who are doctors who would really love this song. So I feel like your songs do have potential to break out, because you were telling me that the way that people get noticed now by these big labels and record companies is if your little sound goes viral. That's how they measure, if you're going to be successful. If you get it hinges on sometimes where a 15-minute sound can hinge on, whether or not you could land a record deal. It used to be a lot harder. Now it's like, you can, cut through this and do that. But I think Ring the Doctor has the potential to cross and at least like get out there on social media. So I hope it does. And I think the other songs will do really well too, and appeal to listeners because of just their unique sound and just how, original and real the songs are. They're not about this superficial stuff, that you hear people singing about. Right.
Yeah. They're soulful and real, and I like, even though I'm still, it seems like always evolving, finding my sound, I'd always come back to just like wanting to be authentic and soulful. So it's not necessarily soul music, but soul infused country and then some southern rock elements, because coming from Jacksonville, Florida, Allman Brothers, I still love that kind of the country blues southern rock stuff. So I want to, in my future,
and a little far away, Tom Petty too. He came from Gainesville, kind of adjacent.
Right. Yep, that counts. North Florida. But what else? I don't know. I think just like I have to just release the music out and let people see what the universe says. Yeah, instead of being so hoarding up all your music and not showing it with the world for fear of, is this the right sound, or like, do I just release a single instead and not the EP? But it'll be nice to have a batch of songs out together, because sometimes as a listener of music, it's frustrating when an artist only releases single by single. It just takes forever to ever get an album these days.
I think Lainey Wilson was the same way, just casually looking over her career trajectory. And she had released several EPs of original music. And then in the last like 2 to 3 years, she just had this breakout moment. She's already released a great, full length album, Bell Bottom Country. She's touring the world. She's won awards. And it took her, I think, 12 to 15 years to break it out in Nashville. And she's super talented. People are questioning her talent, which is ridiculous. I'm like, she can sing, she can dance and sing and move, and she's singing behind the microphone and it sounds authentic. And she has and she has that new single she released, probably preempting the Country School Again song, where she's singing about, country being cool now, or cooler with more audiences. And so she's a fixture now, but it took her a long time. So I feel like the same could happen for you.
Right. Never know.
I think anything is possible, but it's like true talent sometimes takes years to mature or to recognize, because I mean, for one, how I understand the music industry, and just in my opinion, is that if you're able to pay to play, you don't have to necessarily be the best singer. You could have some stage presence, you could look a certain part, but you can make it, quote unquote, in country music if you have the right money, right connections, and you're maybe not mediocre, but a little above average. And then the really talented people, sometimes you just don't see, or it takes forever for them to break out because they didn't have the resources. Maybe they haven't learned how to navigate Nashville and kind of that musical ecosystem that is there, much like I would gather is in LA for acting and also for the music scene out there. So I feel like a lot of people miss out on these great up and coming artists because they just didn't do the pipeline, strategy of, influence, but secure the right talent team, management, package things well, go viral on social media, that recipe. So it is kind of sad and daunting, but there are so many artists too. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for you to get that next step and get more commercial success, even outside of what you've had independently, because there are a lot of people breaking out into the scene. So it just takes one song, one effort, someone listening for that to happen.
Yes. Thank you. That's right on.
What else about the EP or anything else about your music that you'd like to share with the audience? I mean, outside of encouraging them to listen and to download it, because like people listen to your stuff and they like it, and I you can't blame me for slowly introducing people to your stuff. You're talented in your own right. It's just I've also had just friends randomly, or people, like I said, who've just found your music through me, but not just through me too. Like you've had other people, like through your Bruce Springsteen cover, you had, I don't even know, like Rosie O'Donnell. You had all these like celebrities and others. So you can't say like it's just me, but others have taken notice because of your talent and your singing prowess. So, I was just an early adopter. Your mom and her company have promoted your music too. So it's not just me or your mom or Natural Life.
Exactly.
But like we were kind of instigators to be like, hey everyone, this is so cool. Put it out there for people to listen and consume. But it doesn't need to be about being first, but it's just, we like to help because we're supportive of you, me as a friend, your mom, of course, as your mom, and her company, because they like what you're singing about. But no, I think more people have just caught on. I mean, even independent of your participation in The Voice, and that's still a very important thing that you did. I think people still look back and were like, whoa, you were on The Voice. Like, that's so cool. And you could become an afterthought. A lot of these artists who appear on The Voice, whether they make it a few rounds or make it to the top, like you don't really hear much about voice artists. I don't really hear much about voice artists who've won, still kind of staying out there because they just have so many cycles and seasons of that show. It's just hard to keep up with everyone. And like we were talking, so many new artists come across the scene and are signed and are going viral. Like it's so hard to keep up with all these new country or country adjacent artists. I can't keep track of everyone.
I know. Yeah.
So I think the recipe is there.
Yeah. Yep. I think when they listen to the album, you'll hear it's very like an old soul album. This is the beginning of Madison still kind of finding what is her, super niche or super pocket, but you can see in all my music, like I like having the storytelling voice, and I like channeling a certain feeling in each song. So that's why it's easy for me just to say I could do any genre or style and not ever pick one. But I think I'm slowly but surely finding, you know, my original sonic sound too, you know, and my songwriting and all that. So it's all coming together, but I'm excited for y'all to hear Goodbye to Neverland EP. I love the title of it because it gives that ethereal sound, but it's also so nostalgic and just kind of hits everyone home where it's real, you know. So
Especially in that one part where it crescendos. I
yeah,
love that.
couldn't wait to leave this town, but now it feels like sacred ground. That's my favorite line of the album.
It's
Absolutely.
very meaningful because like I could even, you know, for me, having left my hometown, like I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it, you know, having grown up
Right.
in California. So I feel like that part
Mm-hmm.
especially of the song will
Yeah.
resonate for those who may have not grown up in Florida. I feel like people who've, you know, underestimated their hometown or their adopted hometown can have like a newfound appreciation to their hometown,
Yes.
adopted or otherwise, through listening to that line. And so that's what I loved about it, with like you hitting the apex of the song and then going
Yes.
back down with that. So that crescendo was really lovely with
Thank
that. But
you.
anything else you want to add about your music or where you want to direct everyone to
I guess
listen
just
to the new
everyone
EP?
stick around for the journey because I'm very entertaining on Instagram.
Yes,
And
you are.
stay tuned to our next video reports.
Yeah.
Yeah, so stay in touch with us on social media. Mine's it's Madison Hughes. My computer is dying soon, so we will unfortunately have to wrap up. But go listen. It's on all platforms today, Friday, April 26th.
It is, and we will include all the appropriate links, especially on YouTube, where everyone can listen. I will post it on my Substack and all other verticals. But everyone, please
Yeah.
follow Madison, support her music. Don't just do this because I'm her friend, but independent of my friendship with her, she's super talented. We can break the stalemate and help her get out there.
Thank you.
That's the power of social media. So
That's
use
right.
your magic, everyone. If you have a big following or whatnot, or you have a connection, let's help Madison propel her career even further.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, just follow, support her, and check out Goodbye to Neverland. Thank you, Madison.
Thank
We really
you.
appreciate it. And hopefully, I'll see you sometime soon. Next time
See you in the
soon.
summer. Bye.
Hopefully, this summer. Yes. Bye. Okay. Beautiful.